Hi everyone, I'm Cecelia Brooks, and I'm here today because I wanted to show you how to prepare the diabetic tea. We'll call it a diabetic tea, and it's here, right here, and then this is a blend that I made, which has yarrow, Achillea millefolium, lemongrass, and that's also really good for controlling blood sugar levels, and raspberry. So all three of them do, but the star of the show is this lady right here. And her name is the Achillea millefolium, yarrow. And you've probably seen this growing, maybe alongside the road. That's what, please don't pick it alongside the road. Find yourself a nice field that's off at least 20 feet off the road. But this one's drooping a little because I cut it just a couple of hours ago. But millefolium, because if you look at the leaves, they're like feathers. And so what I do is I pick it, and then I take off, I wash it, dry it, and then I pick off all the leaves and the flower heads. And it has a very, it has a, like kind of a medicine-y smell if you smell it. You can pass that around.
Oh, I find it smells like honey.
It does, yeah, it's really nice. And so it was named after Achilles, because Achilles, the king, was a god of war, yeah. And so Achilles used that to stop bleeding for his soldiers when they were out in the field, and it does stop bleeding. But it also, as a diabetic tea, it helps to regulate your fasting blood sugar. So you know how diabetics will get like really bottom out and they feel really bad because their blood sugar gets low. It also protects the liver from inflammation, so it's an anti-inflammatory for the liver. And it also helps with oxidative stress, which is an issue for people with diabetes, if you know anything about diabetes. So all those things are fantastic. So you can pick it. You can even just make a tea out of just this. I blended it with the other two because it kind of helps with the flavor. It is very medicine-y. A cup of tea and taking that time to just relax with the tea. It might be after your meal. I know that's when I like to take my tea. You can do it after every meal because you can drink, I would say, pretty much as you want. You can also make this into an iced tea. So you could make a bunch of it and just filter it out, put it in the cooler, or not in the cooler, I guess if you're camping, in the refrigerator, and just keep it there. And then that way you can consume it whenever you want. If you wanted it hot, you could just, heat it up and have a hot tea. But in the summertime, we oftentimes crave something, kind of hot, not hot, but something cold to cool us off. And so I have this, my son got this for me, and it comes with a little filter. So it makes 1 cup of tea, and this is the one I use. And typically what I'll do is I'll just take a little pinch of that, put that in, has a lid, let it steep, and then once it's done steeping, I just take that out, set it there, and then you've got your tea, right? I know you can go to, I was talking about those tea companies where you can go and they have those fancy teapots and all that. You don't need any of that. You do not need that. In fact, I oftentimes will make tea right in a mason jar. And this one here I especially love because look at this.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, it fits perfectly. And I also use these things for carrying. Sometimes you can make a whole tea and just take it with you, or even coffee. Yeah, so, but today what I'm going to do, so that you can kind of see the herbs kind of moving around in there, I'll pass this around. Here, there you go. Yeah, and that's the blend.
It smells so good.
Yeah, it's a nice fragrance. And it's nice if you have something that's, pleasant, because you don't want to consume things that aren't pleasant. Yeah. And the amount that you put in, I know oftentimes you'll go on, especially on Google, you Google, you know, how to make tea. And every one of them, they say a teaspoon of whatever, hot water, steep it for 5 minutes. That's what they always say. I use more than a teaspoon because this is fairly light, you know, it's not a very heavy, it's not a heavy plant, none of them are. So I'm just going to put, I've got 600 mils in there, so I'm going to put 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to put 6 good pinches in there. If you can tolerate the taste, you can make it as strong as you want. Oftentimes what I'll do is I'll just make it strong and then put it in the fridge, and then sometimes your taste changes and you don't want it so strong. Just add water and just dilute it. Dilute it to whatever your palate enjoys, because it's all about you. It really is. When you're doing your tea ritual and your ceremony, it's all about what you like, so you go ahead and do it however you like. And if you want to sweeten it, I know for diabetics, you know, you don't want to sweeten too much, but a lot of folks will say, oh, I use honey, but actually the glycemic index for maple is lower than honey. Yeah, so honey, the honey, it can raise your glycemic index. It can be not as good for you as the maple. So I have my fancy lid, and we're just going to let it steep for a couple of minutes. I think I'll stir it a little bit. So I usually give it a stir so that it gets nice and incorporated, and just let it steep for a few minutes. And then once it's you know, the right color, however you like it, usually you can go longer. I've actually steeped this overnight. You can do that, yes, overnight is fine. In fact, I would recommend that. If you're able to prepare it the night before, make yourself, I put it in a jar like this, put the water in, put it in overnight, and then in the morning just strain it, and you've got a concentrated tea that you can dilute however you want. Make it hot, make it cold, and you've got it, and you don't have to do it constantly, because I know with people working it's hard sometimes. And then you could just turn that part into a ritual where you're making yourself a little cup. I brought these little cups, and I'll pour you up some tea. We're going to go ahead and strain it. And so this jar here is not a liter jar. It's actually I think it's a 750 milliliter. I believe that's what this size is. So you've got your tea now. Isn't that beautiful? So yeah, we'll have a little taste. Okay, there we go.
That is good.
Smells really
Actually, isn't bad at all.
And for you, dear.
Thank you. I love these little glasses.
I know. Cheers.
That's actually really good. Like, I don't even like Earl Grey. Like, I don't even like black tea without putting sugar in.
Sugar, yeah.
This is actually good.
This is. I even tasted it before, and I'm like still shocked of how amazing it is.
It tastes, it has a sweetness to it that's naturally sweet. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that if we can, you know, get folks who have diabetes or pre-diabetic, and you know, to kind of spend more time working on their, it's because it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is the difficult part, is that, you know, I mean, I love sweets. Who doesn't? I think every living creature, my dog loves sweets, you know? So, but to change, especially when you get a diagnosis like diabetes, to say, oh, I can't have this and I can't have that, and it can be devastating. And so it's nice when you have a ceremony that you can do to kind of, as a commitment to yourself, to your body, and so that you can learn different ways of dealing with it. Well, there you go. So it looks pretty easy, right?
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Like I said, I've had a lot of different teas and stuff, and I always feel the need to add sugar.
No.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
have to. You wouldn't
Excellent.
have to. That's actually really
Or
good.
not, we all need to regulate our blood sugar, and there are so many plants that do that for us if we just consume it, but it's because we've moved away from our traditional ways. I mean, if you think about how we lived on the land, I mean, it was mostly women who were the medicine keepers, right? And so we would be walking, and as we were walking, you would see things like this, and you go, oh, I'm going to grab some of that, I'm going to grab some of that, so that when we get to our location, go, hey, I'm making a tea, right? And so it was, yeah, because they always boiled the water. Boiled water was a common thing when you stopped for the night or whatever, so there it is. Okay?
Beautiful.
All right. Go out and make some.